I always say that those who say they haven't seen COVID, they've had the co part of it, but not the actual vid. Once you get the COVID, you will not say that you don't believe that the disease really exists. My name is Joseph Oliver Kome. I'm the acting director of the Ghana Infectious Disease Center, where we look after people living with COVID-19 disease, both as inpatients and outpatients, and even those who have recovered and still have problems in our post-COVID. There was this exciting video on b&FT that looked at the reaction of most Ghanaians towards the COVID pandemic. The varied reactions, some quite very interesting. I thought it was important that some of these things are put into perspective and then some myths are also clarified.
If you only God, after the time the corona come, I don't wear mask for less. I go town before I wear mask.
The internet man get a mask. Mask need they always say there for life. Come off right.
Sometimes I'm a bit and say
Wow.
I'm the Ghana doing there. You see, I told me call vaccine, but I magnet. Who point tire na?
To some aspects, I don't believe it at all. But some aspects, I really do.
And you will be an it share. Obi wa when to me and share, won't mean any but to man space. Now it's me, Nene Dum, come send a very comfortable. No, I catch so one share or couldn't pay me at the NT.
So sometimes I ask myself, so what if I don't wait and someone who is contracted with the virus gets closer to me or we get into contact?
Me, I don't believe. That is the whole truth. What did you think? Oh.
It's exciting. Some people, I like the lady who said she does not believe.
Me, I don't believe.
I mean, she's being real. We do not have to force her to believe what she does not believe in. It's our responsibility to really enlighten her about it. She says she hasn't seen anybody who's had COVID or coronavirus infection before. We all know that about 80 to 90% of the people with COVID are asymptomatic. We tell them by virtue of the fact that they've done a test that they have COVID. And sometimes when you tell they have COVID, they say, me, I think there's a wrong test. But the truth of the matter is that something has to trigger us to go and ask somebody to go and do a COVID test. So let's say somebody who is sick in hospital, and through the contact tracing, we come to you and tell you that this your friend had COVID, and because of that, we've come to you to take your sample. We take the sample in a healthy person, come back a few days later and tell that healthy person that you have COVID. I'm sure all of us will say there's a mistake somewhere. But then, if you sit down closely with the person, ask the person, so let's go 2 weeks ago, were you at any point in time feeling as if you had malaria? They will tell you there was a day I had a bad headache and I had a flu, so I thought it was cold, so I just took some Pro-Cold and I was fine. But that was when the person had COVID. That was when the person was symptomatic. And you come back 10 days later and you're telling this person that you have COVID when the person has actually recovered from the illness. Nobody will believe you. So I do not begrudge the lady who says that she hasn't seen anybody with COVID before. Sometimes people ask we, the clinicians, why don't you show pictures of people who are with COVID, people in hospital? So they are asking us to use the fear approach. Once you start the fear approach, then you are going to stigmatize the illness. So you have to balance between fear and regular discourse with people, trying to let them understand that this is a pandemic. I'm sure you also know that during this pandemic, we've had what we call the infodemic, where people are coming up with all kinds of theories. Listen to the lady who said that when you take the vaccine, you become magnetic. Just because she saw a video of some high-ranking person or a public official who had posted something like that. Later, the person came to say that he or she was sorry about that, but that one wasn't publicized enough. Everybody likes the story that will set everybody's teeth on edge. So I'm sure with such a person, at least that was wrong. The key thing about the vaccines, which people haven't really understood, is that Vaccines are protective. Vaccines will make sure that you do not get severe infection or severe disease. As for the virus, it's an infection, so you get the infection. But then the disease is when the infection is affecting other parts of your body. When you are quite sick, then we say you have the disease. So the vaccines will prevent us from getting the disease, but will not prevent us from getting the infection. So I may get an infection and I'll just walk around asymptomatic. You will get an infection, and because of maybe other things, underlying immune reactions, you get the disease. You may get a mild disease. You may get a moderate disease, or you may get a severe or critical disease. Most of our work we do at the Ghana Infectious Disease Center involves working with people who have the severe and critical disease. Those are the ones who need the oxygen. Those are the ones who need medication that will cost sometimes close to 9,000, 12,000 Ghana cedis per shot. So we see COVID in its reality. I always say that those who say they haven't seen COVID, they've had the co part of it, but not the actual vid. Once you get the COVID, you will not say that you don't believe that the disease really exists.